Well, I didn't expect myself to make a reaction video to this, but here we are, reacting to an honest trailer of Velma, of all things, which was the most terrible adaptation of anything ever. Like, let alone a terrible adaptation of, like, the Scooby-Doo gang. It's a terrible adaptation, like, of all times, in my opinion. Like, this show was terrible, yet strangely I couldn't stop watching, and I hated it. I'm not saying I watched it, but I kinda did hate watch it, but at the same time I just couldn't stop. I had to see how stupid, I had to see how much more stupid it can get. Can it top how stupid the last episode was? That was like my mentality. I had to see how stupid it can keep, how it can get, and it just got stupider and stupider each episode. It's just like the character. Let's just get into this.
With Warner Brothers Discovery cutting way back on animation and HBO Max pulling their own shows from the service, any cartoon that survived the purge has to be great, right?
Fred's a rich white guy with a tiny dong.
Right?
It has something to do with drugs, which I hate.
Right?
I spit truth without a filter, like every comedian before #MeToo.
Help me. Velma. If you love revisiting your favorite childhood cartoon,
Jinkies!
but also hated everything about it,
Hello, friends. My name is Fred.
then strap in for a series dripping with contempt for the
here.
audience and the source material
There's no world where I'm ever solving a mystery in an abandoned amusement park.
that crams non-stop quips about these days under a Scooby-Doo shaped mask.
He looks like Hitler! And not just because we compare everyone to Hitler.
I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that scene, I laughed. I genuinely found that part funny. Okay, that was the only time I actually found a joke in this show funny, and that was the show is awful
These days.
Sorry I'm not a drunk on the verge of losing custody like every other woman solving murders these days.
Yes, but you hurt her feelings, which is way worse these days.
And they would have gotten away with it too. But in this day and age, comedy equals issue plus reference.
In this day and age, you can't speculate about someone's sexuality unless they're famous or Peppermint Patty.
Funny. Before she was the brains behind the Scooby Gang, Velma Dinkley was just an everyday mean,
White girl with too much money.
disgusting,
Now I have to pee in the shower at school like a weirdo.
stupid,
You talked me out of my flat earth phase.
insensitive,
Now you have Gigi to talk about boring stuff like your swords and feelings.
unreasonable,
My fault? Nothing is ever my fault.
self-hating,
Like the dessert
Oh
course
my
at an Indian
God,
restaurant.
she's
Just forget it.
horn dog,
horrible.
in love with a white bully who treats her like
I mean, sure, if someone was like, want to see a naked picture of Fred? I'd be like, hubba hubba.
like if your typical Mindy Kaling creation was a more overt cry for help.
I'm so happy we don't have to break up now, Ryan.
Follow along on needlessly complicated, season-long, overlapping
I'm losing brain cells just watching this. I can't. I know it's. Oh my god. It's. My brain can't handle it. I need a minute. I need a minute. Ugh.
2 hours later.
Okay. Let's continue.
mysteries.
Norval and I are pretending to be Amanda's parents for the next 32 hours to help my mom remember who took her in the brains before he strikes again.
About Velma's desperate search for her missing mom, a killer, the source of her hallucinations, her friend's birth parents, her own sexuality, and any part of Scooby-Doo's corpse they haven't already pissed on.
What are we selling?
Zoinks, Jeepers, Mystery Machine, and of course, ganja.
Funny. That's all just a framework for jokes that sound like an AI mixed Family Guy with blue check Twitter and somehow didn't kill itself.
Damn, Dilf City.
Oh, I am so posting that.
Does no one read my blog? Gigi's Juicy Journey?
Please update your status to loser across all social platforms.
Hashtag Frafney is the top trending story.
You placed your hand on your verified checkmark and everything.
Welcome back all your favorite things from Scooby-Doo, except for Scooby-Doo.
Scooby. What did Scooby do?
Or the Mystery Machine.
Now get in this mystery jalopy!
Or Shaggy. Now he's Norval, a do-gooding sim.
I'm simping.
And he's black.
That's racist!
I'm about to lose my marbles over this. Who greenlit this? They got rid of HBO, got rid of all their future animated projects, kaput, out of commission, canceled, whatever. For this, like, oh my god! I know it's just a stupid animated show, but like, Hollywood's going through it right now.
For myself.
Funny. Fred is back as a poster boy for white privilege.
Is it funny women make 20% less than men and women of color even less?
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Moms love my impression of my Aunt Cindy. I'm sad my husband died.
Funny. In a show that takes its
Oh
diverse
my
and talented
God.
cast and makes them all cycle between extremely mean and extremely horny. Whatever gets the writers to their lunch break sooner, or just make Velma grunt. That works too. Good enough. Have you ever noticed how TV shows can be bad and formulaic? Well, Velma does.
Have you ever noticed how pilot episodes of TV shows always have more gratuitous sex and nudity than the rest of the series?
Constantly.
According to TV, it's morally okay to deal drugs.
On TV shows, the malt shop owner is always a friendly black man or a spicy and meatball Italian.
If the kids in every teen show ever can get through a brush with a deranged serial killer,
In teen movies, whenever a girl needs money, a guy sells something and then blackmails the girl into dating him for it.
Norville helped me get over them in the last episode of my hallucinations.
In a series that may not have too many actual jokes, but dang, if they can't pull out some extremely stale references.
This is exactly what happened to my vlog about Lil Wayne.
Sorry, Howie Mandel. Easy, Dr. Phil. Look for the stone that is as perfect as Woody Allen and Mia Farrow's marriage. Damn, this makes me think I could bag Don Lemon.
Or do nods to other TV writers that will delight everyone from Burbank to North Hollywood.
After hearing that, I not only feel emotionally hooked, I understand the stakes of your journey.
Who is this for?
Only feel emotionally hooked, I understand the stakes of your journey.
Who is this for? So suffer through a show that manages to somehow
Journey.
My mic was muted. Who is this show for? My mic was muted. I flipped my mic out the way. I can't with this show. My head hurts.
Who is this for? So suffer through a show that manages to somehow make fun of and exemplify wokeness.
We just learned someone somewhere is being intolerant.
And still comes off as kinda racist.
Velma and Norval can look
Kinda?
after their
Kinda? 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 Say what?
And still comes off as kinda racist.
Kinda. Only kinda. Okay, buddy. Let me. Why am I taking it out on Honest Trailers guy?
Velma and Norval can look after their daughter themselves.
Right, Norville? Norville?
And wants zero to do with the source material because it's been done better a million times already. But if you're wondering why they made this show in particular, just remember the old internet rule. If you can't tell what the target of the jokes are, it's you for watching it.
You know what 420 is, right?
Yeah. It's code for adults who still watch cartoons.
Funny.
That's the stupidest joke in the whole show. Because this show is supposed to be targeted to adults. I don't get it. How is that funny when your target audience is adults? Make that make sense, and you're making it. Oh my god. Oh.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? The dogs know where to be found. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Velma had him put down. You know that HBO is cutting shows, but somehow Velma dodged the ass. Don't come back. In this cartoon, the point of view is mean and shrill, and all the jokes are hack. That's a fact. Cartoon Network's through, slashed in two. They canceled all the wrong shows. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, this is Pooh. Velma the dog's balls.
That was catchy.
Starring
That was catchy.
Ginger Snaps, The Fred System, Flaunt Cash, Relish and Adoration, Evade Sex, Deceive, and
Why
Move
is this
On.
so much for him?
Wasn't me. It's weird that there are no mainstream pop culture references we can use for Russell Peters, because he sells out stadiums all the time. But here we are, The Millionaire and His Wife, Brooklyn 6'9".
Okay.
Not it. And Encyclopedia Frown. What no?
Oh God, my heart!
Hey, if your friend is having a panic attack, don't try to help them by kissing them, especially if you've never kissed them before and don't know if they'd be into that. Honestly, can't even believe I'm having to say this out loud.
Could you imagine your friend, like literally, if your friend's having a heart attack, and you just decide, not a heart attack, a panic attack, and you just decide to, how should I help them get through this? Maybe, try to talk to them, help them control their breathing, maybe take them outside if they're not already outside, get them away from people, whatever's giving them a panic attack. No, you decide to kiss them. Like, the show was it was an experience and an experiment, and it was a terrible experiment, an experience, hands down the worst adaptation.
Like, you almost made me use 1% of my power, man.
What? Okay. And I just remembered it's getting a season 2. Oh, my brain. I ain't watching season 2. You can't make me. You can't.